I tried Xbox Cloud Gaming on the fastest internet in the world, which meant I had to fly to Monaco. But first, let me explain. According to Google, Monaco has the quickest internet on planet Earth, with an average internet speed of 320 megabytes a second. That is 10 times faster than my internet at home, but I have to see it to believe it.
The best product on the market right now to help me complete this challenge is the brand new Logitech G Cloud. This just released in Europe and has been available for a couple months in America. This is a handheld gaming console built just for cloud gaming and is a device of the future, with a stunning 7-inch 1080p 60fps display, complete with touchscreen capabilities, a full suite of buttons and joysticks, all of which are reassignable to your own custom button mappings. Plus, it does run Android OS, which unlocks further features that I'll show you later on in this video and kind of turns it into a tablet. But before leaving the UK, I do need to run some tests on the G Cloud to see how it performs on more regular internet speeds.
It may surprise you that it was actually pretty good, and that's because the requirements of cloud gaming are much lower than you would first expect, with Xbox Cloud Gaming and GeForce now only needing between 10 to 15 megabytes a second to provide you solid 720p 60fps gameplay. Interestingly too, across my own local network, I could use Xbox Remote Play and also Steam Link to stream games via my own private network. All of this gave me the confidence that this would work in a large variety of locations and situations.
I am so excited to leave for this trip. I've got everything packed and ready to go, and I'm actually going to leave the charger at home because I don't think I'll need it.
On the plane, this is where the G Cloud got really interesting. Because of the Android OS, you can install loads of different apps from the Play Store. So I downloaded YouTube and also Netflix, as both of these entertainment apps have the ability to let you download videos, shows, and also movies onto your device for offline viewing when you don't have an active internet connection. This combined with my G Fits let me watch my favorite shows during the plane journey, and these G Fits are super cool because they offer custom molding. Basically, when you wear them for the very first time and you use the Logitech app, they'll heat up and mold to the exact shape of your ear, which then creates an unbelievable seal on the flight, blocking out all of the ambient noise, whilst being small and slotting inside of my bag very easily. One of the major advantages of using the G Cloud on the plane wasn't only the fact it had a larger screen than my actual phone, but it was also that I didn't waste any battery life on my phone. Because when you're traveling, every single battery percentage is critical and you don't want to squander it on pointless tasks. So this meant that I could save the charge on my phone for more important things such as my tickets, boarding passes, and also phone calls. After that enjoyable flight, we hit the ground and needed to get to Monaco, but there was a huge problem. I had no idea where I was going to find this world's fastest internet, so I called up a friend.
Yeah, Ben, ça va? So tell me, how can I help you?
Obviously, because we're on a mission to find the fastest internet, we also needed one of the fastest cars to help get us there. And clearly, the rational thing to do was to get a Lamborghini.
So we're here a few weeks before the actual Grand Prix race. Probably most of the time the city's actually being in construction for the F1 in the calendar, and then it gets dismantled straight afterwards. It's kind of chaotic. Most of the roads are closed and there's loads of places where you can't go.
With this being my first time visiting Monaco, I didn't want to just sit around in my hotel room playing video games all day. So I thought I would first try out how Xbox Cloud Gaming actually performs on 5G using data roaming on my phone while I explored this place and everything that it had to offer.
So the main reason why I want to tell you about the data roaming features on the G Cloud is because throughout this trip, we've actually been using it for more than just playing video games on the go. It's actually because of the Android OS, we've been able to use this for Google Maps, so navigating around the city, finding points of interest, actually finding locations where we can get Wi-Fi so we don't have to completely rely on that personal hotspot.
One problem I did encounter with the personal hotspot was trying to connect to it in a highly populated area. Because of all of the cruise ships and boats in the marina area, there were like a million different Wi-Fi options that I could choose from, which meant that my iPhone was getting completely lost in this massive list. So I would advise connecting to your personal hotspots prior to actually leaving your hotel room. This will make it much easier.
So once you've got your 4G set up, it should work pretty well. So right here we're using the Xbox Cloud Gaming on the G Cloud, and I'm playing a game of Hitman completely on 4G, and it's working surprisingly well. Now what you'll find when you are on data roaming, because it's not as consistent in terms of the actual internet connection, it'll almost buffer like a YouTube video would, where the quality sort of phases in and out from a little bit pixelated to super high quality. But the overall latency is consistent. Even though the Logitech G Cloud isn't really designed for this way of gaming, it is more designed for using on a stable internet connection and also indoors. Surprisingly, I've been really impressed. I think it's around 400 nits, the actual display brightness on the Logitech G Cloud. And considering how sunny it is here in Monaco, it's been really usable, especially with a little bit of shade. No problem whatsoever.
The following day, I was searching high and low for internet access. The G Cloud makes it really easy to join a network with dedicated sign-in options so you don't have any issues, as often public Wi-Fi requires you to sign into an account or add an email address so you can unlock access to it. This feature worked great, however, I kept having a massive problem with Xbox Cloud Gaming not working.
So basically, you'll try and boot up Xbox Cloud Gaming, it'll briefly work, and then as soon as you try and launch it to a game, it may not connect to the server, or it'll just basically like buffer out and you won't be able to access it.
I just assumed this was some security firewall on my hotel Wi-Fi blocking the service, so I called up my friend Flo and headed over to his office where we discovered the issue was still happening. So we headed back into France and tried Xbox Cloud Gaming around Nice, where it was working perfectly fine.
So although you can get Xbox Cloud Gaming in France, you couldn't access Xbox Cloud Gaming on an IP address in Monaco.
And this is because Xbox Cloud Gaming is still in beta and is not fully released yet, so not every single European country has access to this service. Luckily, the G Cloud had a solution for me. By switching into tablet mode, this unlocked multitasking on the device, which enabled me to boot up 2 apps simultaneously, so I could have my VPN active while also trying to use Xbox Cloud Gaming, unlocking the ability to switch our IP location so we could use the Wi-Fi in Monaco but pretend that we were actually in France to the Xbox servers.
After resolving this with Xbox Cloud Gaming and getting connected to the VPN, honestly, the experience was insane. Wherever we walked in Monaco, we had internet connection because of how that city set up, and we could just jump straight into a game and start playing whatever I wanted on
I
my
think I got a
Xbox.
penalty. I jumped to start. Oh god. At least I've not got manual changes on. I think I've got traction control turned off, isn't it? I'm spinning everywhere. What do you think of the overall gameplay of the Logitech G Cloud? Or have you played some other games on this as well?
Play like some versus fighting. I play Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, I could see Mortal Kombat being quite good on this actually.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You just have to be careful with the input lag, but actually it's pretty playable. You know, just for having fun, it's perfect.
Oh, did you get disqualified?
I think, yeah.
Oh, you got. I won.
Yeah.
How did that even happen? Somehow I managed to win, being a lap and a half behind. Now that Xbox Cloud Gaming was working with the VPN, everything completely changed, and it showed me the future of what gaming could look like. Because you don't need to download any games onto your device, you can just browse through the Game Pass catalog and load into a game instantly, continue your progress, and game saves exactly where you left them at home. This made the G Cloud ideal for a quick 20 minutes or even an hour of gaming while I chilled out around the hotel, grabbed a coffee at a local cafe, or even had a little bit of sun whilst playing Farming Simulator so I could check in on my mates back at home and do my jobs around the farm. Because no games are being rendered directly on the G Cloud, essentially it's just streaming a video that you can control. This means no intense graphic processes are happening directly on the device, which results in an insane amount of battery life. Up to 12 hours in fact from a single charge, which destroys the 2 to 3 hours I get out of my Steam Deck, which meant I could keep on gaming late on into the evening. And throughout this entire trip, I didn't need to charge the G Cloud once. On my trip back to Nice, there were a few more things that I wanted to test at the airport. I had a good 3 hours to put in before my flight, so of course, I played some games. Once on board the plane, I was told that there was onboard Wi-Fi, which I couldn't quite believe. It transpired that this was sort of a restricted service that only included movies, a store, and these online games, but I could actually play those games because of the touchscreen on the G Cloud. And before actually boarding the plane, I did install some Android apps such as Subway Surfers so I could play games completely offline without any issues. You see, products like the G Cloud and services like Xbox Cloud Gaming and also GeForce Now are years ahead of where the market is actually at. And having tested products like this on a Wi-Fi infrastructure that can actually sustain and support them really opened my eyes up to what the future of gaming could actually entail. You may not need a hardware console in the future, just literally an app that you boot up and stream over the Wi-Fi, because the biggest drawback of hardware consoles is the cost of entry for people adopting the new generation. You got to buy the PS5, then the PS5 Pro a couple years later to keep getting the latest and greatest graphics. Whereas with devices like the G Cloud, it's literally just streaming a video over the internet. So the quality of that video can just keep getting better and better to improve your overall graphics experience. And you would first assume that we are decades away of this being the norm and standard way of people gaming, but we're actually only 2 years away from most people being able to experience the speeds that I did traveling over to Europe. Already in the UK, 72% of households are connected to some form of gigabit network, and by 2025, the UK government promises that 85% of homes will be connected to the gigabit network, so they'll have no problem whatsoever playing cloud gaming and streaming various titles across the Wi-Fi. If you want to learn more about the new Logitech G Cloud, scan the QR code on screen. This will take you to the official Logitech website where you can check it out. Links are also in the description. But for now, subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.